Am I the asshole for reading my twin sister's text messages after she destroyed my family? This is long, but my life honestly feels like a soap opera sometimes, so please bear with me. I'm in my 40s with a twin sister, Lucy. We have always been really different. She's got a solid high-paying job, 2 kids, and lives near my parents. I'm a freelance designer who travels a lot, with no kids and a less stable income. She stayed close to home, and I moved away for work, but I have always stayed in touch and been close to my family. My parents always said their assets would be split 50-50 between us. My mom's words, "You'll always have half the house," gave me a sense of security. Then my sister had her first child and needed a lot of support. By this point, my parents had sold their house and decided to give Lucy money for a deposit on a new house and build themselves an annex on the land so they could support her with childcare. In return, she promised to look after them in their old age. I thought this was really risky, as my sister's husband barely supported her, but it was their life and decision. During COVID, I had a breakdown in front of my parents because I had lost all my work. I mentioned at least I would have half the house someday, and my mom just said, completely calm, "I'm sorry, that money is gone." They had given it all to Lucy. I was devastated. They offered a consolation that I could live in the annex one day if I needed to. No legal agreement, just trust in my sister's husband. It felt like they had forgotten I even existed. Fast forward a few years, my husband and I rented my sister's spare room while we were planning our next travels, and we saw how toxic her marriage really was. I warned my parents to get something in writing about their investment, but they told me to keep my mouth shut and be grateful I had a place to stay. That argument was the worst we have ever had, and it pushed me into therapy. My therapist helped me see my mom's fear of abandonment drives a lot of her behavior. She had a rough childhood, and she tends to reward whoever stays close and punish whoever leaves. It explains things, but obviously doesn't excuse it. Things deteriorated just before we moved out, when my sister admitted she was having an affair with a married coworker, Stuart. It blew up spectacularly when her husband saw them on home security cameras, the police got involved, and she later accused him of emotional abuse. I think Stuart pushed her to exaggerate things to get her husband out of the picture, so they could have the house and start their new life. As the house was now going to be sold, my mom said she would make things fair again and could give me something when they got their investment back. But then Lucy got pregnant by Stuart, and suddenly everyone was singing his praises. She told me that they would not be able to give me any money because Lucy had debts to pay off, $60K, and any talk of fairness disappeared again. My mom gaslit me again and told me they never made any concrete plans with me to give me anything. Now for the worst bit, it all feels horrible, I know. Recently, my parents said they might move back into the annex, and my sister and Stuart would buy out her husband so they can move in as well. Alarm bells were ringing, so I told them to make sure they get a legal contract this time to protect themselves. Apparently, Stuart and Lucy had no problem with this, and my mom had even asked if something could be added to the contract that would give me something if the house ever sold after they died. "No problem," Stuart said. Well, while I was setting up my sister's Wi-Fi, I saw a text between her and Stuart. I know it was wrong, but I had a bad gut feeling. And he wrote this: "None of this works unless I agree to it. I laid it on thick with your mom and told her you were $70K in debt. I don't think my parents, really need the money. She does realize that the house is her grandson's inheritance and their future fucking hell. Laura is the puppet master." My sister responds, "Agree. If she pushes or is difficult, then we leave things as it is. They stay in city. That house eventually sells and they get nothing. And neither does Laura. Hey, it's fine. We will set out our stall. And if we buy the house, it's ours and there will be no written agreements for anyone except you." I took screenshots and showed my parents. At first, they were furious. Then my mom completely changed her mind and said they were just venting. She told Lucy what I have done, and now Lucy doesn't want contact. My mom told me to let it go. My dad still messages me casually, pretending nothing happened. I feel like I have lost my family twice and not sure how to move forward with this. So, 1. Am I the asshole for reading my sister's messages? 2. Am I the asshole for wanting no relationship with my sister? 3. Was her partner just venting? Or is his language troublesome? 4. How do I move forward with parents who gaslight and dismiss me? 5. If all we ever talk about is my sister and her issues, is there even a relationship left to save? Should I consider cutting off my parents as well to protect myself from further pain and broken promises?